Is today the day we finally get to be confident again? We're looking to turn around a bad run of form, and we're up against one of the worst teams in the EFL to do it. It's Leicester City versus Gillingham in the Cup. It's a watch-along. Won't you join us? Yes, hello, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Thank you for joining me this morning. For us, I know it's the early afternoon for all of you in the United Kingdom. We're going to jump right on into things as the players have already taken to the pitch, and I'm going to be adding in my co-host Michael to the stream. Michael, I always like to say that it's early for me, but why don't we start off by saying what time it is out there for you?
Yes, it's 4:30 a.m. here on the West Coast of the United States, and I'm glad to be up to watch this cup match. We've hit one of those patches that we have the last 2 or 3 years where everyone's calling for Brendan's head. We're on a losing, streak, and just in time we have a below us in the football league competition to play, and the result here is either going to set the fans on fire or calm them down. So yeah, this is going to be a great match.
Yeah, it almost felt like last season it was one of those cup matches that really turned our form around for the poor. This time it really feels like it could be the opposite.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, if we don't come out and play and win, really, we need to win this match. The fans are going to be calling even more for Brendan's job. Like, it'll be the most it's ever been called for, more than last season, more than the season before. But we have won this competition when we were in a run of form during the season. Not so good. We did take, we did make a run at the cup and ended up winning it 3 seasons ago. Jeez, I don't know now. Feels like 2 seasons ago, but yeah. It's just about.
I'm gonna add in Reedy as well. Reedy, how's it going?
How are you? I'm good. Ready for hopefully a win. I've just realised what the team news is in. I didn't see Vestergaard was in there, and I didn't see the whole back line is not the same. I thought there was a few starters in there, but obviously not.
Yeah, yes. I am gonna have to apologize. I didn't get the lineup graphic made up for today, but I can run us through the Leicester City lineup quickly. Iverson gets his start in goal, and a back four consisting of Brunt, Soyuncu, Vestergaard, and Albrighton in the right back position. Midfield four of Perez, Tielemans, Mendy, and McAteer, with a front two, Jamie Vardy and Kelechi Iheanacho. So that back line is worrisome, but I think finally a lot of Leicester City fans getting what they want in not only a front two, but a strike partnership for both Vardy and Iheanacho.
And we're kicking off from left to right. Leicester City has the ball. Gillingham's pressing really high up the pitch, and just a lot of back and forth in the middle of the pitch right now, just scrambling for the ball. And there's a ball down the sideline. Is that Luke Thomas playing left back today, or Mark Albrighton?
Albrighton's on right back today.
How about on the left side?
We got Lewis Brunt from the youth team playing left back.
On the left side, Lewis Brunt.
I think it will be
weird. Go on.
I think it's unsurprising that Gillingham are playing that high line today because they're really going to have a go at it. They don't really have anything to lose right now. If I recall correctly, they should be the last place team in League Two. Mm-hmm. This is their chance to take a Premier League scalp.
Yeah, we've got the biggest. I put a photo in the group chat. I don't know if you saw it, but the one where this game here, out of all the FA Cup ties, we're the biggest distance away, like league table wise. We've got like 73 places different compared to everyone else. So this now shouldn't be any sort of upset. This should be a clean win for us. But again, Rodgers has put a lineup that really looks like a team that never's really played together. But should this team that we put out be good enough to win? I'd hope so, but.
If these players aren't good enough to beat a side like Gillingham, then honestly they would have no place in a Premier League team to begin with.
Yeah, there's only a few that's in this team now that's not normally in the starting 11, really, isn't there?
Now, I will
Well,
say, judging by the way that the memes will discuss it as well, this is like some good proper English football going on. It's a rainy day in Dorset at the moment, uncovered stands. It's a nice taste of just sort of that scrappy football that I think we haven't seen for a little while in the Premier League.
what's the camera angle? Because the camera angle that I have is just like a flat field camera angle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is it.
Yeah, it is right by the pitch.
Yeah, it's not the greatest. But then again, you've just got to think that, like, say, it's one of the worst teams in the league too. You kind of got to just give it what you can. Like I say, I was meant to be there today. But I'm kind of glad I'm not, because I didn't want to be up at 6:30 to do this. But then again, why am I saying that when you are up at 4:30?
And there's a Leicester corner. Mark Albrighton's going to take it here. Leicester early corner. Ooh, it is windy. Corner flag. Mark Albrighton takes it. It's headed away by Gillingham player and collected by the keeper.
Yeah, we've just got to that corner, I think.
Yeah,
Not
well,
too
one
far
thing that
beyond.
I really enjoy with having Mark Albrighton back in the lineup is that natural crossing ability, because I think we saw against Fulham just how much we were relying on that kind of like high balls, low balls into the penalty area as a tactic. And really, I know we had a little bit of discussion about that in our group chat about the fact about whether or not sort of Albrighton brings that much to the club with that crossing ability, or if it just ends up, kind of just being a much again like with Brendan Rodgers, one option and that's all we have.
Well, I said that as much as I do like Albrighton, and a few years ago, obviously, he was still in the winning side of the league and whatnot. But I think when I was watching him against Fulham when he came on, as much as it helped us with Perez being more central when his preferred position, which is good, it just felt like at times he was just the only thing he can do is cross. And as much as these crosses are good at some points, there's no point crossing to someone who really we haven't got a big head of the ball, or that ball has to be perfect for a player up front to just sweep into the net. It feels like it's either impossible or the ball's got to be perfect. And for me, there was barely any perfect balls from him against Fulham. But I do get the point of we've got to make attacks, and getting the ball into the boxes are one of the biggest threats. So I do get that point of it.
Yeah,
Now, with that said,
I
though,
thought
at the
he was
very
the best
least,
player at Fulham, at the Fulham match. I thought he was the best player on our team while everyone else was trash. At least he was, doing his job.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think having Vardy on the pitch with him as well, against some defenders that I think we can assume will be a little bit slower than what we encounter in the Premier League, we might see a little bit of that sort of like 2015, 2016.
Albrighton with the ball
Form
into the
from them.
box. Oh, what we were just mentioning it. Wow, what an early call. What a ball. What a run from Vardy. He puts it on frame. The keeper blocks it with his body. You guys will see it here in a moment. But, I mean, Albrighton gets the ball and one touch early crosses it. He doesn't even think about it. He just puts it right into the box. Jamie Vardy's there, takes it on the half volley, and the keeper smothers it.
I like that early from us, though, because that's going to start to unsettle Gillingham a little bit. And that's what we've got to do, is we cannot give them any time in front of their fans to get comfortable.
Yeah. Like I say, at this point now in the game, Albrighton, straight crossing. Yep, fair enough. See, that's the balls that I do like. Instead of him like going up the wing and then putting a forceful crossing, that's more of like an instinct to, you see Vardy making that run and you give that ball to him, where most of the times they are just desperate crosses for me.
Gillingham player shoves it off Mindy. Gillingham driving forward, shot on goal, saved by Danny Ward. He gets down to his right really fast. Wow.
It's Iverson in net today.
Oh, is it Iverson? Woo. Good thing that
he finally gets his
Danny
start.
Ward might not have saved that one. But Daniel Iverson is down to his right really fast. And the Gillingham fans are up. You can hear them now.
And as well, who was it that you said got pushed off the ball there?
Mindy.
Because that's I know we discussed that a little bit with the Premier League matches as well, that it's just it's Mendy's physicality that gives us a little bit of concern in the Premier League match as well. I just saw him get dispossessed now, getting caught up on my end.
Good save though.
Very good save.
See, this is the sort of game where when I went to the MK Dons game, you were kind of worried because it was coming straight back from the World Cup. You think, what are we expecting? And we got a clean 3-0 win. And as much as it was only MK Dons, this game should be a lot easier than that. So realistically, we should be getting I wouldn't say an easy win, but we should be making sure we don't let them get any chances coming into this game.
Oh, yeah. I always like to describe it as you have to make the easy stuff look easy, and this is going to be our chance to do that.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Now,
Dara's already coming in saying that we're playing the tippy-tappy football too much. I'm not seeing too much of that yet. Like, it at least feels like the passing that we're doing is purposeful.
Well, when Soyuncu and Vestergaard get the ball around the back, I could totally see how fans get frustrated because
obviously with the team news we've got out today, obviously the whole back line's changed. Do you think this is maybe just because it's Gillingham, or do you think maybe there's a bit of a thing going on with Rodgers, maybe giving them a bit of game time, so maybe he goes into the Newcastle game with this sort of lineup, or like for the likes of Sunchu, does he get game time now? Because everyone's asking
what a ball from Iheanacho from the midfield out wide. Oh, but who's that? Lewis Brunt can't handle it.
I don't see any chance that either of them start in the Premier League. I mean, I'll admit I was fairly convinced that when he rejected the move to Fulham, that Vestergaard had played his last match in a Leicester City shirt, so I'm surprised to even see him in the lineup to begin with here. But I think Brendan's going to want to see both of them gone at some point in January.
Because people were talking about Amati maybe being a bit of a... Don't get me wrong, he's done well since being at the club and whatnot, but maybe if we want to be starting to not concede goals and whatnot in the Premier League, maybe it's the chance to maybe put a bit more solid in the defence with FaZe and maybe a Soyuncu, or maybe even a new player that we sign to get into the club.
There's a lot of similarities I find between Amarte and Soyuncu in that they're both such confidence players. And when they're on form, they are some of the best central defenders in the Premier League, let alone at Leicester City. But when they are off form, they are woeful.
Yeah.
Well, Soyuncu's natural position is a center back, and Dan Amarte's is not.
That's what I mean. Like, as much as Dan Amarte's done well, there's certain moments in the games where you just think he looks so uncomfortable in that position, and even his passing at times just makes you think, well, he's in the wrong role there, and that's why I'm like, as much as maybe there's something going on behind the scenes with Soyuncu and Rodgers, maybe you just got to put it to bed and be like, you're probably the second best defender we've got. You've got to be using him now, because I don't see Evans maybe getting into the side much now because of his age and whatnot. So Soyuncu's still there. As much as his contract's running out, he needs either game time or he has to go. So
absolutely. And yeah, with I love Johnny Evans, but between his age and just the way that he keeps sustaining injuries, like it's time for us to definitely start looking towards something for the future for him.
Definitely. I've been saying that for a couple seasons now. Once he started having the back thing over and over, I was like, yeah.
It's like the Wes Morgan situation, where obviously, like, as much as he was still playing and then he got into the bench a lot, we just kept giving him a year contract every year, and it just gets to the point where it's like, as much as he's a good experience in the changing rooms, it's just he needs to be getting off the books by now. And maybe someone like Evans, as much as he's done well the last 2 years, it's got to the point now where we need something fresh and hopefully a bit more solid in the back line now.
Can agree with that. And we've been hearing from Rodgers as well that he wants to prioritize a center back signing in the January window as well.
Yeah.
Which is funny because if we brought that up, last season, 2 seasons ago, center back was kind of where we had the most players out of any position.
Oh, yeah.
Gillingham sitting in a really deep block, and we're just playing it around the top of the box. Yuri puts the ball in over the top. No one's there. Goes out for a Gillingham free kick, goal kick. Sorry.
You're going to get the feeling that Yuri Tielemans just wants to get another one of those screamers from outside the box.
Well, he nearly got one against Fulham, didn't he? So
yeah, he hit the crossbar, smashed the crossbar. Who's this number 34? Oh, Lewis Brunt.
Is there any chance you'd see any of these sort of players that are on the fringe getting into the first team playing the likes of Newcastle or what you call Old Forest away? Obviously, Mendy people have been asking for over Sumari and Ndidi recently, and he's playing today. Is that because to get more energy in his legs, or is that just because they wanted to switch up the team? I don't know.
He's switching up the team. I think maybe also some players might be leaving. It is January, so maybe want to get some game time, some show off time. Iheanacho should be, with the injury to Daka, Iheanacho should be getting some game time. So, he might be rotated into the squad versus Newcastle and Forest.
Yeah, a lot of the players that I think we're seeing in the midfield and further forward are going to be those ones who might be rotated in. But even then, like, these all feel like those players that Brendan likes to bring on, around the 70th, 80th minute. That time when he likes to try to change a match. So, that's your Mark Albrighton on the right, your Iheanacho up front.
Yeah, they're all ones you see coming on the end of the game.
Our injury list is just woeful right now. It's crazy. Yeah. And if you looked at our substitutes at the Fulham match, wow. Brendan is right this time. We are really low on players.
Yeah. And that's what I've been saying to people. The people that are saying, "Oh, we can't use injuries as a excuse." For me, we can, because the way Rodgers wants to play, and as much as people say it is boring football, if we had a full fit squad with the likes of Ricardo in, the likes of James Justin in, the likes of maybe Pratt at times, and you've got Barnes in full confidence, if you had a new winger, the way that he likes to play will work with these better players. And because we're struggling with the team at the moment, and like half the players really, we've got Luke Thomas. As much as he's an okay player, he's not the same standard as James Justin. You've got Castagna on the right back position, whereas if he was playing on the left and then Ricardo playing on the right, you'd see a lot better attacking, overlapping football. And the wing backs, it's hard to play with the style you want when you've got half a team.
Completely agree.
Right now it looks like we're just trying to play balls over the top from the midfield into Vardy or whoever's making a run, because Gillingham is sitting so deep. We just don't have that football to break down the teams in the deep block.
Yeah.
I recognize the frustration that a lot of fans are feeling, and I know that I'm definitely going to seem like a stick in the mud when I continue to defend Rodgers, but I agree when it comes to that injury debate, because when you think about the last time we had a fully fit squad, that was when we were placing 5th, 6th in the league and winning the FA Cup.
Exactly. It was struggling because I think it was the second year we got to 5th position. That's when we started getting all the injuries, and we were like, people were saying, if you bottle it now, then it's your own fault. I'm like, no, because we've lost half our team. But we were playing the likes of Luke Thomas at that point, and we obviously just struggled to get that 4th place just on that second season because of the injuries as well. Like I say, Fofana was injured at that point, I think I remember as well.
McIntyre brings it down. McIntyre's brought down in the box. He's shouting for a penalty. The ref doesn't give it, and the ball goes out for a Gillingham goal kick. Does it go out? Nope. Keeper grabs it before it goes out. Ooh, is that a penalty?
Hopefully.
He needs to. No, they're not going to give it to him. You guys tell me.
From what I understand, VAR is only in the FA Cup if the stadium has it set up. I don't know if League 2 uses VAR.
Oh, wow.
I know they've introduced
it. No, I don't think they are. No, they've got to have it installed into their stadium before.
For the football league, everybody in the football league, right, has to have VAR.
I don't know, because the lower league sides don't have it. So, if we're going to their grounds when it's in these sort of cups, we don't have it. But if the fixture is the opposite way round and we were hosting this, we would have VAR. No, I don't think that's a penalty. No, I don't think that's a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, if I were him, I probably would have gone to ground as well, but he goes down pretty easily there.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Gillingham is peppering our box with balls. Good ball in the box, headed away. Vestergaard standing tall. But Gillingham has got us pushed back right now. A good spell of possession for them. But we're forcing them all the way back.
From what you're seeing, then, Michael, obviously you're ahead of us. Do you think we're doing well? Do you think we're just not doing as good as we should be with the team we've got out there, or?
Yeah, we should. I think we should always be playing way better football. And this is a League Two side. You said we're 70 positions above them.
Yeah.
We haven't got into the game yet, really. If we're supposed to, win 3-0, 4-0 against this team, we really haven't gotten to the game yet. Over here on this side, Brunt and Albrighton and Ian Nacho, they need to get it together because the ball's over here a lot.
Now, do you think that's a consequence of the fact that just this team hasn't played much together?
I'd say that, and as well that the FA Cup obviously always can bring upsets, and the likes when you come into these sort of grounds where they're not the greatest of pitches. The team you're against, obviously Gillingham, they're going to be up for it. They're going to be going
biggest
for
game
it.
of the season. Yeah, it's their biggest game of the season.
They've got to like bust everything they got to try and do what they can, to get as far as they can. Because if they can get the scoreline of Gillingham beating Leicester in an FA Cup game, they'll take that every day of the week, even if they lose the next round. So it's going to be a tougher game, and that's why I thought MK Dons was going to be a tough game. But obviously, we won that 3-0, and hopefully we can get a few goals in this game to just to stop people thinking we could lose this.
Yeah, it is one of those uncomfortable things that we have to say, but realistically, if you are a League One, a League Two team, and you get told you're going to draw a Premier League side, I feel like there's kind of three teams that you'd say you'd want, and that would kind of be Leicester, Forest, and Southampton, the three teams that are pretty off color at the moment.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
You could probably throw Wolves in there as well, but yeah, just the teams that really seem to just not be gelling between their players, and that's for different reasons for different teams. Southampton just changed their manager. Forest have just been kind of a mess all season, but they're starting to get back into their groove. Wolves have a new manager, and Leicester City have half their squad missing.
Yeah, like I say, when I saw the lineup on screen, you just look at it and you think, has he done this just for Gillingham, or has he done this so? I just don't know, because it just seems like, why wouldn't you go for your full team to make sure you win these games? But then again, you have got a busy scheduling. Then you've obviously got Newcastle midweek, and then you've got Forest, which really, so you need to make sure you've got as strong as team as possible against Forest, really.
We've got a very tough run of Premier League games coming up, so I can see Brendan Rodgers really wanting to avoid any sort of injury against a team like this.
Yeah.
We have a throw deep into their half. Albrighton into Yuri. Yuri tries to put a ball into the box, but it's blocked out for a Leicester corner. Gillingham is up for this game, really. They're playing us really tough, really physical. And we got to get ready. 20 minutes in, I don't think we haven't really gotten to this game yet. The wind's blowing pretty hard there. Mark Albrighton trying to put the ball down to spot it for the corner, and the wind's blowing it off the corner flag. Crazy.
Yeah, I know they were saying that the rain's going to be pouring down in Dorset today as well, so it's not going to be a pleasant day on that pitch.
Oof. It's all muddy. It's going to be all muddy. You can tell it's going to be all muddy around the spot, around the corner flags, and around the center circle. It's going to be all mashed in.
Going to do a quick check on the scores around the horns as well.
I was asking. I was in the office. Was it yesterday? No, the day before that. And I was saying that what changed our season from that Forest game. Obviously, we were losing 6 or 7 in a row with one draw, and then we go to that Forest game, win 4-0, and then we completely changed in the side. Obviously, we're winning with clean sheets, back to back, pretty much. And then now we've gone basically back to day one. What do you think's changed us since we had that Forest result 4-0? I don't know. Maybe does it happen again where we go to Forest away, we get a good win, and then we bounce from there? Or do you think there's something more behind the scenes? I thought it was the set piece coach that came in that changed things differently, but then now what's happened again? I don't get it.
We signed Wout Fast to the match before Forest, I believe. But winning changes the attitude in a dressing room, and it changes confidence. That's what I attributed to confidence. It wasn't like the players were any different, except for we did get Wout Fast. We got Fofana out of here. Maybe that was creating a little tension and a little just nastiness around the club, you know?
I attribute so much of it to confidence.
Yeah.
Because I can easily see, again, like it's kind of a half-baked squad. We were missing a lot of our key players at the time. You could imagine like those fans going out onto the pitch, you know, they're getting booed at halftime, they're getting booed at full time, they're not putting in the performances they have to. They're not going out even at the KP and thinking that they're going to win that match. They're thinking, "Oh God, which of us is going to screw up this time and cost us the match?"
And
But
that's
then
what
we go in and we put in one of our best performances against a regional rival, a match that meant a lot to the fans. We got battered by them in the cup the year before. So it mattered a lot to us. And it basically, for lack of a better term, reminded them that they can win. And then the moment they get back onto their confidence and you can get each different player in that lineup firing on all cylinders, we're a force to be reckoned with.
Everywhere they go, we were singing it for a whole week.
I think it also helped us that we had a relatively easy run of games as well. They were a lot of matches that even in poor form, I think the more optimistic of us would go into them thinking that we were going to win them. But then obviously we then put in a really good performance against Manchester City as well. I, for one, haven't been dismayed by a lot of our recent performances in the league as well. I think we've had a lot of just a bad run of luck.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you about now. Like, say, the Newcastle game, you get 2-0 down in the first 7 minutes. As much as it was maybe bad defending or the penalty didn't really help, 2-0 down, you're already out of pretty much game over, really. And then obviously the third goes in, and it's just, you might as well just not play. And then the Liverpool game, I thought we did well. Obviously, not the greatest chances, but you were winning the game 1-0 and you give 2 own goals. What else can you do, really? And then the Fulham game, you had the chances, but you just couldn't put it away.
Yeah, like the Newcastle, I find very hard to excuse. I think that was just a terrible outing, and we were not. We thoroughly deserved to lose that match. But Fulham and Newcastle, I think a lot of that just came down to bad deflections. You know, like the first Wout Fast own goal that goes in the net one time out of 1,000, and that was just that one time. And then Fulham, you know, we strike the crossbar. Bernd Leno makes a couple wonder saves. At the very least, I feel like could have come off with a point from there.
Yeah, Bernd Leno was on fire. He was their man of the match to me, and because you know we should have scored a whole bunch of times.
Now that said, I think that we absolutely cannot take Forest for granted because the City ground is going to be rocking when we show up.
I am so excited for that game, and like I say, last time I was there, we lost 4-1, and most fans was thinking that it was going to be quite an easy FA Cup next rounder, but obviously not. So you can never go to the City ground thinking you're going to win.
I'll fully admit I was one of those people. I ate my words hard that day.
Oof.
I think I predicted like a 4-0 Leicester City win at the start of that watch-along, and that was one of the worst watch-alongs I've ever hosted.
I think I did that with you too.
Yeah.
About it. Oh, that's right. I was talking about how I didn't understand the rivalry between the Midlands, between Forest and I didn't. Yeah. Oh, crazy. 4-1. Yeah, we got smashed. That felt terrible that day. Yeah. But like I said, we still haven't gotten to the game. Nacho tries to put a through ball into Vardy, but it's cut off by Gillingham midfield and shot all the way back here to Vestergaard, who's had a lot of the ball today. A lot of headers away, a lot of passes back to Iverson.
I mean, you will hope to see that when you're what, like he's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, he's huge. Lewis Brunt's also had a lot of the ball today. Ooh, good through ball into Yuri into the box. Oh, Yuri shoved over in the box, trying to let the ball run. Gillingham player, what's going on? No. Goal kick. Wow. Good pass, though, from Lewis Brunt to break the lines into the box. Yuri could have ran onto it. but he's just a little pudgy sometimes, not so fast.
I don't. Go on, you go say it.
Oh yeah, sorry. So Danzy's just asking how important we think the January transfer window is going to be, and how quickly we think we need to do business.
Oh, massive, absolutely massive. We were saying in the office as well the other day that with the injuries we've got, like as much as you can keep using it as an excuse, here's your time to really show that you need to improve your squad. And the likes, like I say, we looked at Lookman's stats compared to the guy we were linked with. Do you know Boga, who we were linked with from Atlanta as well? Like, since Lookman's been there, he's literally taken his place. Lookman's got incredible stats at Atalanta, and Boga's not even started a game yet. And we're pretty much going for the player that we couldn't, that's been taken over by a player we've already had, if you know what I mean. So I don't get why we're going for someone like Boga when we could have gone for Lookman pretty much instantly. So
I think a lot of that just came down to our financial situation at the time, though. Like, we were dealing with a lot of FFP restrictions around then, and even something like 15 million was restrictive upon us. Now, all things considered, like if we rated Boga back then, and now he's disenfranchised with his current club, we might be able to get him at a cut rate price.
Maybe, but is it a bit like a downgrade from the Lookman situation? Because like I say, now Lookman's got into his place, Boga's barely getting a game, and you think, is it really ambitious of us going for someone that barely is getting played at the moment? I don't know.
It's such a gamble with things like that, but the way that I see it is that if the manager rates him and thinks he's going to fit into the system, you know, like my all-time favorite Leicester City player had basically been ostracized by Aston Villa when we signed him because he didn't fit into his manager's system, and then came in and was one of the most instrumental players in our winning the Premier League.
Yeah.
We need to get players. There's a long throw into the box from Gillingham. Oh, we did get it away though.
I'm scared that Gillingham's going to score before us.
I'm saying they have got us under pressure. They have got the ball. We don't look good. They are on their field. The pitch is all bumpy, and I just don't want anybody to get their hopes up. We don't do business in January. What was our last January signing? What was the player?
Yeah, it was that Gusent back, weren't he? The English guy. I can't remember his name now. He came from Wolves. He was on loan. Brian. I can't remember his name now. Bennett. That's it. Ryan Bennett.
Was he? Did we sign him in January? Yeah.
Yeah.
3 seasons ago, then, right?
I don't know if it was I think it was a loan, but I know that the last player we did sign was, I think, was it like Robert Hoof or something? I think someone said something like that.
Yeah, we just don't do business in January.
I was gonna say Ryan Bennett is one of those names that just like, if you didn't provoke that on me, I would have forgotten that he ever existed.
I just knew it was Ryan.
We didn't do anything in the summer, so maybe this is our chance to do a lot of stuff in January. It's like we didn't get the opportunity to do it before, so maybe we do a lot more now.
Right. I guess the payments from Chelsea for Fofana come in increments.
Yeah.
And one of those payments just came in, the end of December.
Yeah, I think it is also important to remember, because I know a lot of fans have been coming in, and anytime there's mention of, financial difficulties for us in the window, they're like, well, we just got 80 million for Fofana. Don't forget that we're going to be getting that over the course of like 5 years. Like we don't have access to all that money now.
Yeah, clubs don't give you $80 million in cash. They just don't. Just like any other contract, it's paid out over the course of a set time.
And don't forget that when you do start acting as though when you sell a player or offload a contract, you get to count all that as having immediately happened. That was Derby's way of accounting, and look at what that did to them.
The cold piece.
Someone's just said on the tweet that every replay we see in this game that's showing like a highlight. It's a better angle of what we've got than we have now.
It's someone's cell phone.
Oh.
I do need to take a quick L at the moment as well, because I had the wrong city of Gillingham. I was saying that it was in Dorset. Wrong
Kent.
Gillingham.
Yeah.
Gillingham in Kent.
It's southeast. I always look at the football club and then go on like Google Maps and look at the area around and stuff like that. still sitting deep. We keep trying to get Yuri on the half turn around the top of the box, but it's just not happening. He's surrounded by 2 or 3 Gillingham players every time he gets the ball, and it always ends up back here with Vestergaard and Soyuncu playing it around the back. And Soyuncu playing across the field passes over here to Lewis Brunt. Brunt puts the ball into the box, headed down by Vardy. Kicked away by Gillingham.
I'm just saying that we. Oh, sorry.
I'm just
Reedy, go ahead.
scared. I'm scared that something bad's gonna happen, and we're just gonna concede first, and it'll be literally like we're just gonna be struggling to score. I don't know.
Right. And the comments will start to flood in.
Oh, you know they will.
Out.
I will give a quick update. So, scores around the rest of the FA Cup. It is 0-0 all around. Preston, Huddersfield, Reading, Watford, Tottenham, Portsmouth, Gillingham, Leicester, and
No.
1-0 for Palace against Southampton.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's your only one.
Palace has a goal.
Then again, it is against Southampton. Again, a team that's really struggling right now.
I was gonna say, so Luke's mentioning that we do not look organized at the moment at all. Do you think that that's a consequence of the team selection, which is like we've discussed that a little bit before, or do you think it also could be the fact that we're playing a formation that we really don't play often, so it's also something the players aren't used to?
What are we doing? We're playing a 5 at the back, aren't we?
The lineups that I've been seeing have all been saying a 4-4-2, and honestly, I haven't been seeing us keeping much of a shape at all, so I can't really read it off the pitch.
Because we've got in centre backs. We've got Sionchu, Vestergaard, and I think it's Brunt as well, isn't it?
I believe we've got Brunt as one of the fullbacks.
Yeah, Brunt. Okay. Yeah, Brunt and McAteer are playing out wide, pushing up the field.
Like the squad lineup that I saw, at least from Google, which I think was pulling it from the BBC, had Brunt and Albrighton as our 2 fullbacks in a back 4.
Hmm.
Well, Brunt and Albrighton are playing on the same side, on the near side here, and McAteer and I don't know. Yeah, maybe we are playing 3 at the back.
Yeah. I thought we were.
Yeah, 3 at the back.
Maybe a bit of like a 3-5-2.
As much as people want to say it's poor because we're not scored yet or we're not looking great, like I say, there's so many attributes to it. We're playing an FA Cup game against one of the lowest sides in the league. They're going to go for it. Half the team that we've got in this game haven't played a game in about 10 or 20 games, so they're going to be on. They're going to get like fitness in the legs and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So you've just got to take it with a pinch of salt in anything you do. You just got to hope you win this game and move on.
Yeah, I'll even chime in and mention, like, let's not forget, Tottenham is currently playing against Portsmouth. They're being held 0-0 as well. Exactly. Portsmouth actually have more shots on target than Tottenham so far.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're just under pressure the whole time. We're under pressure. Gillingham's up for it. They're playing very physical.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're just struggling to organize that. I'm looking at this team. I can understand why some of these players don't get into the squad with Brendan. It's just not, they're just not making it happen. The passes aren't as accurate.
It's weird to think because you've got to think like if we played against a Premier League side, we'd probably feel more comfortable playing someone that level than it is now because, like you say, this isn't comfortable for us because we don't know how they play. But when you play someone like Spurs or something, as much as you might lose to them, you'll feel more confident in what you're doing because you know how to play against it.
I think there's a lot of these players are also caught in a bit of a downward spiral in the Leicester City squad because, they don't get game time because they're not in good form, and they're not in good form because they're not getting regular game time.
Some of them just aren't good enough. These, some of them just aren't good enough. The touch isn't there. The conditioning isn't there. The confidence isn't there.
If he hadn't been injured for the last 25 years, this is exactly the kind of game I could see Ryan Bertrand starting in.
Yeah. Southampton have equalised against Palace.
And that's the thing. We just haven't been really scoring the last month.
It just shows though, like I say, in the Premier League sides, the only team that's I think got the Premier League side in the like matched each other have I've got goals in the game. All the rest of them are against either lower league sides or higher league sides that are struggling to hit a goal.
Yeah, Gillingham's on a 3-match losing streak in their league and 4 matches overall, all competitions. So they're trying to get out of a funk right now against us.
Yeah, I think I saw a tweet go out from one of the Leicester City fan accounts that Gillingham was the team in the worst form in the 92. I think they had 1 point from their last 5.
Don't say that.
And they retweeted somebody's post saying that, and they just said like, "Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it."
Don't say that at all, mate.
And they're welcoming Leicester. Of course they are. But this is also the type of match that we need because of the run of form that we're on. And I don't know. I don't know if Brendan could have played a stronger side with the games we have coming up, but
I think the thing with the side we've got out now, I'd say it's to say how we're playing and whatnot. I wouldn't moan about it because we're not playing the best of teams, and I'd rather be playing this sort of team against Gillingham than put our full strength team and then not have as full a strong team against the likes of either Newcastle or Forest. Because out of all the 3 games, I think them 2 are the more important than this.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember, but like, didn't Madison pick up his knock to his knee again? It wasn't that in a cup match?
it was.
No, he got the knock against West Ham.
Okay.
In the last game before the World Cup.
Oh, that's right.
We had one first team member take a knock in a cup match though pretty recently, and like I think Fofana is probably the clearest case where like he got ruled out for an entire season in a friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Now Vardy, is that Vardy? No, Perez. Of course, he's not hurt. He's on the ground rubbing his leg, but
we just got to wait for the memeable moment. Vardy's gonna slam a Red Bull at halftime, second half hat trick.
Hopefully.
yeah, we need him to get going, and this is this is the type of match, a perfect match for us to get back into form. A perfect match for Jamie. He did play. Did he play all 90 against Fulham? No, he came in the 7th minute. He came in the 7th minute, and then played the rest. He came in for Daka.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he made some really good runs. I thought he still got the juice a little bit.
Did he?
I seen a lot of passes or a lot of comments that say he's past it, and he might be, but he still got it. He still got a little bit of the juice.
No, Vardy started and played the whole game against Fulham.
Okay.
Daka was injured at that point, so we had to play Vardy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we're all still on the inside of the camp right now, and Craig is asking, what would it take to push us over the line?
I don't like getting rid of managers in the middle of the season. I just don't.
I always have a big fear around rocking the boat. I think the only time this season
When you're losing 7 in a row.
It was after the I believe it was after we lost to Brighton, because I said we needed 4 points from, I think it was out of Villa and Brighton, and then we lost to Brighton.
Yeah,
and that was when I got pushed.
We didn't
into
get the Villa
outcast.
game. Yeah, we didn't get the Villa game either, did we? It got
No.
cancelled.
So yeah, that's what pushed me over the line, and then I hopped back into it after the run of form, because I feel like we just see far too often like a team that's low in confidence when they replace their manager. If you don't get a 6-7 game new manager bounce, you end up worse off than you were before. Like ifs and buts all around the league, but I reasonably want to say that if Southampton hadn't sacked Hasenhüttl, I think they wouldn't be in the relegation zone.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't like the manager carousel. So if you're gonna get rid of him, if we were gonna get rid of him, it should have been during that run of form when everyone was calling for it. When Top came to the match and we got smashed, and so yeah, if you're gonna do it then. But I think he's proven that with the right squad, and we can win matches in the Premier League. And again, we're having injury woes and also
there's so many issues going on at the moment that you just can't put it all down to Rodgers for me.
That's too many things going on.
I'm sure what I'm about to say is going to frustrate the Rogers out crowd in response to a comment like this one, but where I can agree with you that like the run of form we're seeing under Rogers is worse than say what got Puel sacked, what got Ranieri sacked. The Rogers has seen more consistent good performances out of this club than either of those managers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Ranieri, one of the best managers, if not the best manager in Leicester City history. I'm not going to dispute that. But he presided over the Premier League winning season. He had that one season behind him. Brendan Rodgers got good league position out of us for 3 straight seasons, coming off of an incredibly poor run of form under Claude Puel. That, to me, is what I know Brendan Rodgers is capable of when he has a fully fit squad.
He's a quality manager. He's a quality manager, and when he gets the team he likes, and like without any injuries and without things going on at the club, like say the Fafana stuff at the start of the season, which didn't help at all because you had to play with half a team pretty much when you're losing your best centre back. You just can't be helped with it, and then obviously you start getting a run of form. You don't just get a run of form just from having confidence. You run because you're playing well and whatnot. So for me, he's still the man for the job. And the only time I said Rodgers out was when I think last season when we played Chelsea, we could have lost like 6-0. And then after that we played Man City, we lost 6-3, but then we beat Liverpool. And then just so many things happen where they just were good performances as much as there were lower teams that we were playing against. We were getting the wins, and I just feel like we will get back in form. You just gotta ride the times.
All right, with a ball in the box, Vardy, hey, he's always just a step off. And it's away by Gillingham again. Oh, Brunt with the ball into Nacho. Nacho's in the box. He's taking on his man. Off his left. He takes a shot. Oh, my goodness. It's like this much away. Nacho. Nacho doing Nacho. Doing. Oh, Nacho.
They will see in a minute now.
He gets the ball on the near side here. He puts it on his left boot, which he loves, and tries to curl one into the far post. Oh. And the keeper for Gillingham, Turner, can just watch as the ball sails barely past the far post.
It almost feels like
here it comes. No, not yet.
Yeah. We are well behind you. I think we're like 90 seconds behind you at least.
I'm at 44-50.
Yeah, here it comes. Go on, Iacho. Go on. Oh!
It almost feels like we're trying to do too much and we're trying to be too fancy. Like I honestly think that quantity over quality is what it would take for us to beat them. Just pepper the goal and wait for a mistake on their back line.
Oh, that's what we need to do every match anyway, because all this tippy-tappy around the edge of the box and no shots on goal, no shots on target.
Already, this is what Iheanacho shows. As much as we've not had many chances and whatnot, Iheanacho out of nowhere is just trying to shoot where most of our players at the moment don't dare to shoot.
Oh, yeah,
I think that's maybe one reason why he has to get into the team, because as much as he didn't go in that time, he is taking the shots.
He's a pure striker. He might not be a pure finisher, but he's a pure striker. And when he gets the ball in the box, he's trying to put it on frame.
I rate Iheanacho for that. I also rate Perez for that. I feel like that's something that he brings into the squad when we take him on, is just that ability to pierce a back line and take a shot and be risky when you have to.
Yeah, I want to agree with that.
I'm gonna jump a little bit, I guess, back to Craig's question. So like, if you had to twist my arm to say like what would be the point where I would go back into the out camp, it would be if I begin to genuinely believe we're at risk of relegation again.
Yes.
I genuinely thought we were at risk of relegation when we had lost 7 in a row. 1 point out of 8. I thought we were at risk. I don't think we're at risk right now. I think we're a little bit of luck and a couple wins away from mid-table again. I don't think we're back into that relegation scrap.
There's a few teams as well that are, like, for me, I wouldn't say easily, but there's a few teams that I'd say that are just comfortably worse than us at the moment. Southampton are worse than us. Wolves, I'd say, maybe are worse than us at the moment. Everton, not the greatest of form. But like I say, the thing that would change me is if it gets to the point where And I've said this before. I said it when the 8 games came in. I didn't say the words Rodgers out, but I said something has to change. I don't think Rodgers going out is going to be the solution to change things. There's like I said, there's so many things going on at the club, injuries, Fafana at the start of the season, not being able to bring players in at the start of the season. Now we've got the chance to do it now. You either give Rodgers the time to bring players in January, or you do let him go, because there's no point giving him the chance to bring players in if he's going to go.
Looks like halftime from what I'm seeing.
Derek, you don't like Brunt's crossing? I think he's put in some good balls. He's getting them from like 35 yards out on the wing, and he's putting in early balls into Iheanacho. I think Iheanacho's just not in the right position, and he just hasn't had the touch. I thought Brunt and Albrighton over here on the near side have been putting in some really good balls. But it's fair, you know. Nacho is a one-footed player, but that left foot is amazing, I think.
Right, I want to go quickly go and get a drink. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, good. Around the rest of the Premier League, FA Cup. It's early. Reading 1-0 up against Watford, Palace 1-1 Southampton, and then 0-0s for Preston, Huddersfield, Tottenham, Portsmouth, and Gillingham, Leicester.
Honestly, that first half went by really fast because it felt like we never really got into the game. It feels like the game still just started. Gillingham, they're up for it. I saw a comment that said this is their FA Cup final, and they're playing like it. They're getting to like a bunch of second balls. I guess we have a bunch of possession, but it feels like when they have the ball that we're pressed into our box, they've gotten some really good balls into the box. Lurch, Vestergaard, you know, he's been standing tall. I guess these are the matches that he can be effective in against League Two opposition. So he's doing pretty good.
So I've never heard such harsh things said about a player in such a jolly tone.
No, those were nice things.
I'm glad that Yannick Vestergaard has found his level.
Yes, we need him for these lower level competition in the cup matches. In order
you
to
say that, but he conceded 7 in the under 23s.
Oh, that's funny. Did he?
Yeah, I don't remember who it was against, but yeah, he was he was put into like the under 20s or under 23 sides. It was the Premier League 2 side, and we lost 7-0.
Wow.
Because I remember it was his third time conceding 7+ goals.
Yeah, well, he didn't take the contract, the offer from Fulham because of money. Like, plain and simple, he was going to
100%
get less money and maybe play, or he could keep his contract and sit on the bench here. I don't know what the club is like around Fulham, but I'm sure that Seagrave is amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean, time training facility. I think he also just kind of took for granted that he felt like he would get signed or get the offer from Denmark,
right?
Whether he was playing regularly for Leicester or not. I feel like it probably came as a surprise to him that he didn't get called up for the World Cup.
A lot of these players, the last couple seasons, they thought they were better than the market actually says they are. A lot of them holding out, not signing the contract, and now their money's down. Yuri Tielemans, I think his money's down. James Maddison doesn't stay healthy. I think his money's down.
It's entirely possible, and it's funny because like I don't want us to turn into like a Southampton of 2014 where, you know, we're bringing up and recruiting well, but then we just cannot fiscally keep our best players because, you know, like in the case of Southampton, you know, Liverpool just decide, oh, I'll have 7 of your best players, and they can do that. But right. It does feel like in terms of like the development towards Vishai's dream, you know, from that mid-table championship, if not yo-yo club, to consistent Premier League, European challenging side, that's the stage that we're at right now. Is that mid-table Premier League side that recruits well but can't hold its best players.
Right. And the title win warps the perception of the club. You know, But Brendan's last 3 seasons, you know, kind of gives a little credence to the title win. So people expect us to do well. The fans expect us to do well, even though we're in that mid-level, what you were talking about, where we're trying not to be a selling club, even though that's what we were for so long.
Yeah, because we as a club are by no means rich, but I think it's very important to look at the Premier League holistically and just think about the amount of money that clubs like, even outside your big six, if we're talking Newcastle.
Yeah, and I haven't helped either. I have not bought a new shirt from this season, so I'm not helping with the money situation at all.
I'm sure you're $120 are the reason that we haven't signed anybody yet, and
everyone has to do their part.
Yeah, I've picked up one shirt so far this season. I got the home one. I love a shirt with a collar. I was disappointed at how floppy it is, but I've been thinking about getting an away shirt, but it's the thing that gets me is how much I have to pay for the shipping and the duties and all of that.
You're talking about this kit that they have right now?
I like the away shirt more than this one, like the black and mint.
Oh, the mint. Okay, the mint. Yeah. I always wait till they go on sale.
I stocked up after the World Cup. I went on a tear at at some of the chain shops that we have here.
They're showing the replay of that Nacho shot over and over because that's like the best chance of the match. But they're getting clapped off 0-0. There is replays if this finishes 0-0.
And that'll be at home for us as well. But I feel like even a draw here would be a win for Gillingham, all things considered.
Oh, absolutely. They would get another match versus a Premier League team. That's money in the bank right there. Yeah.
We have to perform better in the second half, and I'm sure that Rodgers will communicate well with the team at halftime. That's one of the things that I like to commend Rodgers for, is that where we discuss the fact that he doesn't have a tactical plan B, he has a profound ability to change the mentality of the club at halftime, to inject the players with some sort of motivation, to bring them out in, again, what's not tactically different, but mentally very different to the way that we see them in the first half.
Yeah, there was a time there where we were known for coming out in the first, 5 or 6 minutes of the second half and getting a goal back, or even if we go down a goal, a ball over the top and Harvey's running down the sideline, and within 20 seconds we've got the goal back. I don't know where the confidence from the team is gone. But this is the type of match where we need to get it back. It's perfectly set up for us, and I don't think we're taking it right now.
Agreed. Very much agreed. I want to discuss this a little bit, jumping back to kind of like fan expectations and kind of where Leicester City is on its journey. And, I definitely need to take a step back and recognize that, I'm not in Leicester. I'm not feeling the air around the club every single day. I'm somebody who had been following with so little information on the club realistically until all things considered post Premier League win, just because the media never cared about them in Canada before that. And all I knew of them before then was just our league position and a small handful of players.
And the club's website and their media wasn't as awesome either, So.
Yeah. But I feel like this is a very difficult time to keep the fan base unified because of the Premier League win and the FA Cup win, but where we are in that journey, because it's very easy if you feel okay with the fact that we aren't challenging for Europe, you can look complacent or even regressive. If you feel like you're one of those fans that wants us to qualify for Europe every single time, if you see mid-table as a failure, it's easy to seem entitled. And honestly, I think both sections of that fan base can feel justified in their current position, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But I think one of the biggest things is that while we have that healthy debate, it's important for the fan base to stay as unified as possible. If we're frustrated with the performance, that's more than fine, but we can't have any sort of infighting, and that's something that can easily happen while we're at this kind of adolescent stage in our development as a consistent Premier League club, for lack of a better term.
when I always think that the title win has warped the expectations, including the expectation that we should consistently be in Europe. If you think about before the title win, we were pretty much the definition of a yo-yo club, I think, 2 or 3 seasons up and then back down the championship title wins, and then, back down and, stuff like that. And with the League Cup win thrown in here and there. I had the opportunity to be on like a Zoom call with Matt Piper during COVID with a couple other US Foxes fans. And he was talking about his last season at Leicester. He was by far the best player and nobody wanted to sell him. He was the reason why, they did good or, whatever. They didn't want to sell him. But he said he went into the office and they told him, we have to sell you because the club, we cannot run the club anymore unless we sell you. And we have to, that's just the bottom line. The club is not a big club. We can't sell enough shirts. We can't, we don't have enough TV rights, all around the world. I mean, we do have a billionaire owner, but we only have, 40,000 seats in the stadium. We can only generate so much money for financial fair play. And so we're not going to, we do smart business. We bring up kids from the academy, and then we sell the good players that are going to give us, a big windfall that'll, like Fofana will get us, 25 million every, 4 months for the next year and a half, So.
Yeah, I think, again, like Danzy, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, where it's like this transitional phase for the last couple of seasons is when it can become, I describe it as adolescent just because it's like we're neither where we were nor where we're going to be, but it's very easy to feel like we should be in either one of those positions. Like the transitional is a great word for it because we're not going to be this football club forever in this situation, in this scenario. And there are 2 directions in which we can go. And we have to be very careful about how we tread, because it would be very easy for us to be, say, a Fulham, who in 2004 to 2008 were qualifying for the UEFA Cup. They had Edwin van der Sar in net. They were recruiting well, but then they mismanaged. They spent poorly. They were a little overly ambitious and got into financial trouble as a result. And now they're kind of in that yo-yo club position. They've recovered well. They're doing well this season, but it definitely doesn't feel like that's something they're going to be doing year in, year out. Let's not forget that Sheffield United almost qualified for Europe, and now they're trying to get promoted again. Right. I like the fact that the club isn't throwing everything in the kitchen sink into qualifying for Europe, because that is how you burn brightly and then burn out. That's how you be a QPR.
Right. And Susan and Top, they're going to run it like a business. They're going to run it like a business that needs to always be, even. The books need to be even. That's, it's just going to be ran like that. We're never going to run a deficit. We're never going to be in trouble with financial fair play. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the club when it went into administration, but I can imagine if someone told me right now that Leicester City Football Club doesn't have the money and they might go out of business, I would freak the hell out.
Oh, yeah.
Let's read this one. I saw this earlier. Let's read this one.
and David, like this is fair as well, because there's clubs that can be justified in playing boring football. I think Burnley was a great example of that, because they were a club that they didn't take a lot of risks, but that was because their priority was to survive as a Premier League team. And that was Sean Dyche and your Route 1 football, and get in there and get a point however you can, survive. That's not the position Leicester City should be in, but at the same time, like in this current run of form, with the squad that we have, and more importantly, the squad that we're missing, I would rather that we get points. I just want us to survive and be as high as we can in the table and go again when those players are fit. It's frustrating to watch. I don't deny that at all, but sometimes it's necessary.
I just want to see goals. That's what I want to see. I want to see I do want to see attacking and attractive football, but I want to see goals.
Now, at the same time as well, like I can sympathize with the fact that, you know, we were flying very high, and if we recruited better than we did, if we didn't splash cash on Yannick Vestergaard and Ryan Bertrand and
Ryan Bennett.
you know, Rashid Ghazal and
Ooh, dang. I don't think he got a chance, man. I don't think he got a chance.
some of it is that they didn't get a chance, but like I'm sure we have a laundry list as long as our arms of players who we misrecruited because they either weren't good enough or didn't fit into the system.
Thing is, when you were saying, I was saying this again to Phil in the office, that someone like Vestergaard and Bertrand, when we first got them, I think even you agreed that it was like for 15 million for Vestergaard. That was a good price for a player that was in the Danish squad, did well in the Southampton team with Van Dijk, and you'd think, do you know what, 15 mil, a Premier League proven player, you could take him. But he's obviously just not been able to get in.
I was excited for him when we signed him. I'm not going to lie about that at all.
Even Bertrand, a good experienced player in the Premier League, much as he got injured, I think he would have been a decent player for us if he didn't get injured.
Yeah,
we're kicked off now.
Little bit of bad luck, but I think also at the same time, like those were desperation signings, and I think they also suffer from the fact that they just didn't fit into our system.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Bertrand will always be the player to be that kicked off the 9-0 by getting that red card. He will always be that player to be.
I'll never forget the fact that we had signed Bertrand and Vestergaard, and then briefly, I think it was only for like 2 weeks, we were linked with Jan Bednarek.
Oh yeah, the whole back line of Southampton, yeah.
3 out of the 4 back line from the 9-0.
Yeah, early cross in from Albrighton almost goes in. The keeper has to palm it over the bar. That almost went in.
So what do you think Rodgers has said to these boys at halftime then to hopefully get the win here?
He probably didn't say too much except for play harder.
Oof!
Right?
That's
it almost went in, Reedy.
That's a very good cross.
Oh yeah.
Almost went in.
Is that
I was going to say to paraphrase, I think all he would have said was, lads, it's Gillingham.
Yeah. But then again, like I say, people are saying it's not good football, but realistically, I don't even think even if you're playing brilliant, you wouldn't be able to play the style you would normally against a team like this because they'll just shut down everything you would do normally. Like, you can't play your normal standard style of football against this team.
I will also say,
so narrow gaps.
Seeing the replay on that, Albrighton's cross, it wasn't even off target. It had to be parried over the bar by the Gillingham keeper.
But then you say Elijah there. You say it is only Gillingham, but Gillingham aren't always going to be losing games. They're not always going to be in this rut. It might only take this one game to win for them to go onto a big run again. You don't know.
Yeah,
they have a new manager that keeps showing. I think I read they have a new American owner, some billionaire from Florida or something, came in and bought a majority stake. So the fan base, the club, they all got a little bounce right now. Yeah, and the camera keeps showing this guy in the stands. I don't.
The team does seem to be a bit more aggressive on the ball, off the ball now since the kick off again. They're looking like they're going. They are trying to get in there, get stuck in a bit more.
We're getting more physical as well. We've given away a free kick to Gillingham here near the halfway line, but we're getting stuck in instead of just trying to get ahead of the player and poke the ball clear. We're not afraid to sort of put a shoulder in anymore.
Long throw in the box is all pinballed around. Gillingham.
You better not say they score.
They did not score. We cleared it, but
good.
Again, they're up for it. They're up for this match. They know how to play against us. They're gonna just keep putting balls into the box and let it pinball around and wait for Vestergaard or Soyuncu to make a mistake. No subs. Looks like the same team came out.
And Craig, I think I kind of answered it a little bit before, where it's just if it gets to the point where it realistically looks like we will get relegated, I would switch camps.
You won't get to the point of being relegated before you got rid of Rodgers. If you got
Exactly.
into a dire point, you'd make sure you do it in enough time before you get to the point where you'd have to get that point.
Because I know a lot of fans will criticize Top for not investing enough in the club, but I think we touched on it a lot. Where we see what we've seen from the Srivardhanapapa family is that they care a lot about the financial stability of the club, and they will therefore care a lot about the impact that relegation would have on the finances. So they'll do anything they can to keep us from being relegated, if nothing else, and that would include the payoff it would require to get a new manager.
Yeah.
There's a cross in the box for Gillingham, and they get a shot, but it's just wide.
Every time you say Gillingham has a shot, I'm scared.
They're getting shots. It's crazy. They're playing, the balls over the top and finding some space on the second ball, and we're not.
I believe Daka's on the bench. We have a lot of first team players on the bench.
Daka's nursing a hamstring.
Yeah, but Spurs have scored now. Kane in the 50th minute. Reading are 1-up against Watford. There's a few games. Bloody hell! I didn't realise there was that many games in the FA Cup today. Bloody hell!
Yeah, a lot of early kickoffs for the cup. I know
Not
the
even
cup
just that.
normally...
Then you got 3 o'clock kickoffs. You got 7:30 kickoffs, and you got 8 o'clock kickoffs. There's about 30 games on today.
Joys of the third round proper.
Yeah, so if anyone didn't know what bench we had, the bench we've got is Smithies, Faze, Amati, Castagno, Thomas, Ndidi, Braybrook, Barnes, and Daka. So we've still got a lot of quality on that bench if we wanted to bring on.
Alex Smithies, 93rd minute screamer from a corner.
I wouldn't say no, but I wouldn't want to get to that point, mate. Especially not against these. Does this go to extra time or penalties then? I'm guessing.
No.
Replay.
Is it a replay? Oh no!
Right?
This is the last round of the FA Cup that still does replays.
Oh no! But at least we might get. Did we get a home match then?
Yeah, yes. But we're totally the type of club that has to play a replay against a League Two side. Oh, but the fans would come out for that match. They would so come out for that match and the flags because we'd expect to see goals.
And like goals here, to be honest with it.
Yeah.
Knowing the cup history of this club, like appreciating the fact that we did win it halfway through. Let's not forget Newport County.
Let's forget.
I was there. I don't want to remember it.
Oof. That was at a time when we were really bad. And I've never actually cried about Leicester City, but that day I didn't cry, but I felt like it. I really did. You get that feeling where it's welling up in your chest. I was really hurt. My feelings were hurt that day.
Oh, yeah. I've cried at football before. I'll admit that.
No, I've cried at football for the Seahawks, but not for Leicester City or the Sounders or anything. But
oh well, no, I mean football in the English sense, not the Netherlands in the World Cup have made me do it twice.
Oh,
quarterfinals, semifinals 2014 and finals 2010 got me both times.
Yeah, in the Newport County. Let's forget that. And again, we just haven't really grown into the game. Gillingham is making it really hard for us to do anything in the final third. And when they get the ball, they are charging down the field and they get the ball into our box, as soon as they can. And they're at it again. Long ball from the keeper off a free kick into the box. A shot on goal blocked by Vestergaard. It can land anywhere outside the box. Woo! And it's wide. Gillingham. Oh my goodness. They are putting it on us right now.
No.
Vestergaard sticks a leg out. That ball could have went anywhere.
The defensive masterclass of Yannick Vestergaard
does not clear it, and there is a Gillingham player on the edge of the box on a half volley. Wow, good strike, but he just drags it wide.
This is scary, man. This is very scary.
This is scary. I mean, 54th minute, we still have clear-cut chance on goal.
Just saw the blocked shot there.
Well, right? That could have been anywhere. Oh
Ah.
my goodness.
It's a good block, though. That's all you can say.
A good block, yeah. I mean, Vestergaard, he's showing us what he can do against League Two opposition.
Nah, it wasn't the greatest shot from there, actually.
Yeah, the camera angle failed to deceive on the rebound shot there, but that blocked shot had eyes for goal for sure. Oh dear.
And the keeper's holding the ball again. He's pushing Gillingham's pushing the team up, and he's gonna kick it long again. And we'll see what happens with the second ball. First one to it was Albrighton, and Perez is on the second ball, and Mindy controls it, puts it out here to McIntyre on the near side. He's looking for someone to give it to, and of course, all he can find is Mindy at the halfway line. Switches it all the way over to Lewis Brunt on the far side in front of the benches. He pushes forward. A lot of tippy-tappy around the back. The ball falls to Tielemans. He puts the ball into the box.
Oh, no.
Here. The Nacho! Let's go! And
Let's
go! The ball was just pinging around in the box a little bit. Ian Nacho, he's Johnny on the spot. Let's go! That's what we need. Woo!
I'll be totally honest with you. I saw my phone notification say deadlock broken for Leicester, and I thought, oh no.
Cross into the box, and McIntyre was on it. Puts a shot on, and Vardy's there to.
Yeah, good finish.
Yeah.
Good finish.
I'll tell you what, we just saw the goal.
It's a good finish. Good finish.
It was very well taken. Not even a half volley. That's a full volley at waist height. Very well taken off the left
balance.
Well,
and you know what? That's what we need. Let's switch the momentum. Let's get those Foxes fans rocking. We're sorry,
the fans at the stadium were excited for that goal. I mean, they jumped up, they got their scarves up, limbs started flying around like we won the championship game.
And we're shooting against the visitor stand right now as well. So like that side of the stadium is going to be rocking now. Yeah. Andy, don't put it past him. Don't put it past him.
You know it. Iheanacho could have put that one into the stands easily.
It was a good. Oh, but then again, McAtee. Was it McAtee that tried to go for the shot, and then obviously, it was a decent goal.
Honestly, it looked a bit like Vardy tried to control it and take a shot there, and it bobbles off of him. But you know what? The ball's in the net, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. But that
I don't know if you just saw from the replay there, kind of side onto the net, but one of the Gillingham defenders kind of tried to pull a Luis Suarez, stretches his arm out to try to stop that shot going in.
Thing is, as much as it only is only 1-0 against Gillingham, like Kelechi's face there when he scored a goal, he looked so happy to, and like it just makes me think. Obviously, the players don't like to not be playing well. Obviously, they don't. Obviously, they want to be playing well. So, I just feel like it can't all be Rodgers' fault. Like the reason why we're losing games, the players just obviously aren't happy with how they're playing. So when he scored that, he just seemed a lot happier to be scoring goals, what he wants to be doing.
And so much of it also just comes down to that confidence. And sometimes you just need to get that reminder that, you know what, I can score a goal when it counts.
Mm.
And I'll tell you what, now that we've scored, we're already back on the attack. We're high pressing well. We're being aggressive. We've won another corner.
Yep.
And it also looks like Gillingham, it looks like Gillingham's heads kind of went down a little bit. They've lost a half a step.
Oh, well, yeah. Like
either that or our aggression and our level is about to really, really show through. Because
when it's 0-0, anything can happen in a football match. But the moment you go a goal down to a team that's 70 places above you in the football league, you've gone from a molehill to a mountain.
Yeah.
Someone with the white Vishai Mr. Chairman scarf.
I want one of those so badly.
I have one.
I have one as well. Just make it even more jealous.
I'll tell you what though, so there's a district in Toronto called Kensington Market, and it's kind of like this little bohemian neighborhood with like a lot of fruit markets and secondhand stores.
Hold on. Yuri puts a through ball into Nacho. He takes on 2 defenders. He's in the box. He puts a shot. Oh, it's saved. Oh my God. Nacho. He's a confidence player. He's
back.
And this just shows it. All right.
He's back.
I don't know.
But yeah, I was down in this neighborhood. I just popped into like a couple used clothing stores, and one of them had a Leicester City scarf. The blue and white stripes crested either side of it was like $7 Canadian.
Oh, nice.
It's mad though, because every all these Leicester fans that get panned on the TV, I know half of them because I see them half the time at the games. It's horrible. It's weird to not be there.
Oh, I've just seen the replay, seeing Nacho charge in there, and yeah, that is not the Nacho we saw in the first half either. Like, that's a Nacho who's feeling it again.
Gillingham with the long throw into the box though, and it's pinging around again.
The one person I do not want to see
from outside the box, right at Iverson.
I was going to say the one person I don't want to see against Forest is Harvey Barnes, but realistically, he was pretty instrumental in that win against them at home. So
we need Harvey. We need Harvey to be in form. We need him at full confidence. And if we're sitting him on the bench, I don't think that instills confidence. Today's a good day for him to sit down and rest and watch, and then come back midweek with a fire, ready to take on the defenders, ready to get rid of the ball on time with the pass, ready to get the shot on target. You know, all the things that we've been talking about for 3 seasons now. Harvey, he should be thinking about right now while he's sitting down, but we can't. Would you play him against
Newcastle though, or would you rest him again there and play 2 at top like we have today?
No. He needs to play in the next match. I wouldn't ever sit Harvey more than 2 matches. He's a young confidence player who we need. You know, we need him in the matches. You know, we don't have a bunch of quality going forward, especially with all the injuries right now. We need Harvey, you know.
What I'd like to see is I'd still like to see a 2 up front, but I don't want Harvey to be one of them, because I'd like to see Harvey like on the right wing of a midfield 4 being forced to pass the ball more often, because that's the thing that frustrates me a lot with Barnes is when he charges in as this winger, and where you expect a winger to cross or look for a pass, he takes 1 or 2 touches too many inside the opposition box because he wants to get it onto his preferred foot. He knows how confident he can be when he shoots, but he never has enough time to get it set up there, and he gets tackled so often right on the corner of that box, and that costs us a lot of chances.
Yeah. But that's the thing now. The problem is, if you want to play for 2 up top, you either lose Barnes or you don't play him, really, because that's the problem. Because I don't think Rodgers will ever play a 4-4-2 because there's just not enough midfielders in there for him to play the passing game. So
yeah,
now you've either got to go 2 up top with no Harvey Barnes, or you play 1 up top with Harvey Barnes and hopefully he does perform well. Because at the moment, when he's been in the team, he's not been doing too great.
I feel like we might just need to switch to that 2 up front, at least until we get Madison back, because one of the things that worked for us with the 1 up front is the fact that so many of our midfielders can kind of act as strikers in that way. Your Barneses, your Tielemans, your Madisons, for all intents and purposes, we're playing 4 up front sometimes.
And there's a bunch of hard charging tackles. The players are just...
There's Vardy's pace coming back into the game.
Oof. The referee... He's having a hard time getting everything under control. Maybe not. Maybe he has it under control. But right now, the players, everybody wants it. They're playing hard. They're playing physical. Lots of elbows. Lots of knees.
So here's a question for you both. The EFL Cup is obviously the next game after this. And if we do somehow get past a Newcastle side, the teams that's left in there aren't that great.
Oh my God! Wait till you see this. Why doesn't he hit the target?
Oh no! Oh no! Before we see this Vardy chance,
long ball over the top, not handled by Gillingham. Vardy is in on goal, 1-on-1 with the keeper, and save! Wow! Oh, okay, saved. I thought he put it wide. Wait till you
Good.
see this.
Good.
90 seconds never feels longer than when it's the difference between when you say something
get all
happens and I get to see it happen.
Is it?
Like Gillingham still has the ball in the Leicester City box right now on our screen.
There's a Brighton ball to
Iheanacho.
No. Davardi run through.
Oh, what a run.
Yeah, it's a good save.
Save.
it's
Yeah,
very well done.
I thought he put it wide. Ooh. Good save.
So honestly, from the day that London basically got decimated in the League Cup, I felt like we had to have a serious go because that whittled the crowd down so much. You lost West Ham, you lost Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham in one day.
Yeah,
And
the only big teams you now have left is United. If you get past Newcastle, obviously no Newcastle left, and then you've got Man City, Forest or Wolves, and that is really it. So realistically, who do you want to get out of either Forest, Wolves, out of whoever wins that, or Man United or Man City? You obviously want to choose Forest.
It's an obvious question. Like, hey, give me the Midlands, because those two clubs,
teams.
Even on our poor form, I feel like we could beat either of them.
Because the thing is as well, if the thing is if Man City beats Southampton, which is probably a certain, you've got Man U beating Charlton. Obviously, that's the case. And then if Forest beat Wolves, it means that both Manchester teams are in there, and then obviously us and Forest. If we get Forest in that semi-final, the final's going to be either a Manchester club. So
it would set up much like the FA Cup for us, where it just takes one or two well-played matches for us to win a cup.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have the hardest run to the FA Cup, all things considered. Like, we had Manchester United and we had Chelsea.
And Southampton, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, those were like the two matches that on paper I would have said we shouldn't have won. Like, I think in the form we had at the time, Southampton was beatable, Brighton was beatable. I think we played Stoke and we played Brentford, right?
Yep.
I think it was Brentford, Stoke, United, Southampton, Chelsea.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah, Chelsea. Oh yeah, we beat them in the final, didn't we? Yeah.
Just 1 second. Albrighton with a hard challenge on the Gillingham player. He literally just karate kicks him in the knee.
I'd take if we can get past Newcastle, I'd take a brilliant home fixture against Forest. Hopefully, get past that, and then you go to the final knowing that you're going to be a hard game, but hopefully you can get through them.
Yeah, and it realistically, like we eked past Chelsea in that final, but that's kind of what we do well, which is if we can get a good or lucky goal and then just frustrate aside, and that's what we did to Chelsea.
Yeah.
They're showing the replay of the goal. The ball in from Tielemans was amazing, but it was misplayed by a Gillingham player, and that's what allowed it to fall to McIntyre, who got a good shot on target, but a save by the Gillingham keeper. Vardy, Vardy, he sits on top of the ball trying to control it, but Iheanacho's there to just smash it.
Southampton are winning as it stands against Crystal Palace.
Adam Armstrong scoring. The other one was we met 2 goals scored between Preston and Huddersfield in 3 minutes.
Yep.
Including a Huddersfield own goal there. Reading, Watford, Tottenham, Portsmouth, Gillingham, Leicester City, all 1-0 at the moment, but no goalless games anymore.
But that's the thing, when people are saying it's not the best performances, for me, it doesn't matter. As long as you get through them, it doesn't matter. There's some games that you're gonna struggle against in the likes of a League 2 bottom side team that are gonna be all over you to try and get something out of the game. So if you get through it, you just gotta let it go and hopefully perform better against a better team that you come next.
And sure, understanding the quality, we should do well against a team like this, but let's also not forget the fact that we're not even playing a B team here. We're kind of playing like a half B, half C plus Tielemans team.
Yeah. Plus Vestergaard. Jeez.
Well, yeah, sorry,
There's
half B, half C plus Tielemans plus conceded 7 goals in the U23s.
And
there is still a few first team players in here, but obviously there's not that many.
Yeah.
the Gillingham player stayed down for a while. Now he's coming off. There's a Gillingham sub. The player that was down was Dom Jeffries. I don't know. He's probably old. I was looking at their roster, a bunch of guys born in the early 90s on their squad. I'm just like, wow, I don't got nobody born in the 2000. It's just like no young guys. None, they're all old.
Wouldn't bode well for the future as well if you're staring down relegation into the National League as well, because you need young talent who can help you get back up into there.
I'll tell you this now as well. Obviously, I put a bit of research into the Gillingham team, and they're not even playing there. They're striker today.
They're not playing. Their number 9. He's a French guy, Mikel Badrot or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're not even playing him. Yeah.
And I'm shocked because obviously I thought they'd be going all out for it. Then again, are they going to try and save him to play against the teams that they need to be beaten in the league? I don't know.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, if I recall correctly, it's bottom 2 in League 2 get relegated, right?
I think so.
They're 5 points off of safety right now with 1 game in hand.
I'm not too sure if there's any other players in the team that they normally would be playing. I'm not too sure, but I just know that their main striker is not in there today.
I'm taking a look at their last league match, and I'm going to compare the
squad
they've got.
Their last league match they played their number 1, their number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8, 9,
14, and 16.
Yep.
So yeah, they've made a couple of changes.
The whole back line is the same, I think. Then, obviously the keepers are different. Midfield, half of them are the same, and then the attacks, I think, completely different.
You'll also notice that it's a completely different shape. So I'm seeing like they play a 4-4-2 in the league,
right.
But they went in against us with a 5-4-1, and I think that's why we've been finding it hard to break them down, just because they've been using that midfield 4 pretty remotely so that they can play a pretty high press when they're on the attack, but then just put 10 players behind the ball the moment that they go out of possession.
You can see now as well, though. Now we've got that goal. We have got the more possession. We are controlling the game, which is good. So,
oh well, yeah, we're forcing them to commit that midfield 4 further forwards because they got 20 minutes to score. Or they're out of the tournament.
Yeah,
it's pretty windy. I mean, usually Brendan has his arms folded because he just stands like that, but I think he's trying to keep his hands warm at this point.
You got to keep them warm so that you can clap when the ball goes over the net.
He hasn't been writing anything. Got my Premier
because he's
League
not going to play any of these players. Oh, Michael, how was the Premier League event in Orlando?
No, the Premier League event in Orlando is in 2 weeks' time. This is one of the mugs that they give out from NBC. I think they mailed this to me. I got some Premier League swag, some merch.
Hey, Fubo, get on it. Come on. What other Canadian Premier League media personalities do you know?
Pour my scotch in here.
Get me a mug.
I'm gonna pour my 5 scotch in here. Sports Direct, of course.
When I was in London last time, I saw one of those at a charity shop, and I nearly bought it for the novelty, just for the next time we were on a watch along together. But they are absurdly large.
Mm-hmm.
For everybody.
That's the only reason I got it, because I got like 3 teas in one drink.
For everybody in Leicester, the hashtag is MyPLMorning, and so that if you go on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and you type in MyPLMorning, you'll just see a bunch of American fans with their breakfast and their shirts and their dogs and their kids dressed up in kits and stuff like that. And yeah, that's what we do here in the US. We eat breakfast and watch football in the morning times and drink
Some
beer.
Kegs and eggs, you might say.
Kegs and eggs. Day drinking is what we call it. Day drinking.
Yeah, I'm always in one of 2 places when it comes to football here in Canada, where I'm either going to be just shacked up at home watching the match for the watch-alongs, or there's a pub in downtown Toronto called the Queen and Beaver, and it's a United supporters pub, but they show all the Premier League matches
Nice.
So tons of fans will go down in their kits and we'll watch the match together. We'll banter each other. I remember getting some stick because a lot of my friends from my work are Manchester United fans, so I'll go down with them to watch the United match. And there was a back-to-back. It was United Leeds, Leicester Wolves.
Ooh, nice.
And I wore a United top just like to support my friends while I was there. Match ends and I immediately take the United top on, had the Leicester shirt on underneath.
Ooh, prepared.
To answer your question, George, Daka is still on the bench. There have been no substitutions yet made, I believe, for either team. 73 minutes into this match.
No, they had to make a sub.
Yeah, one for them of the injuries.
Oh yeah, sorry, you're right. There was one first half change for Gillingham.
And Iheanacho was the scorer. He takes another shot.
Vardy was the assister.
Vardy does get the assist. Vestergaard is just pushing this little guy around all match long.
The good old Vardy and Kelechi's duo up top again, doing well.
Vestergaard is Lurch. in all my group chats, his name is Lurch. Ooh, Vardy down the sideline. He got this man beat. He puts the ball across the and it goes all the way through Iheanacho. Come on, bro.
Ooh. I think we might be caught up in because I just saw a shot from Iheanacho as well. He didn't quite get the
it's the wrong one.
Yeah, that was an earlier shot that Iheanacho took.
And I'll admit, yes. I mean, keep in mind, I'm a football shirt collector. So like Leicester City is my team. They're the team shirt that I'll wear in earnest, but I cycle through a bunch of different teams' shirts through the week.
You wouldn't catch me dead in the United shirt. Oh my God. It's so red. It's so red.
Feel free to banter me. It's a very good run, but yeah, he drags that. I think that may have been more an attempt at a pass than a shot. Yeah,
Iheanacho stopped running. He wanted the ball at the spot instead of taking it all the way.
But yeah, I'll take banter for it. But I wear plenty of different team shirts. I've gone out in like championship kits. I have a Shrewsbury top shirt that I've gone out in.
I feel weird even going out in Sounders shirts, and that's my home team.
Well, I was gonna say like your team and my team are rivals. I own a Sounders shirt.
That's awesome.
I'm tempted to the Hendricks shirt is back in stock, and I'm tempted to order it. It's just costs so much money. It's like $80 US.
Yeah, I paid $110 for it when I bought it because I bought it like the week it came out. But see, the thing is with the Sounders is like they make a kit and then they wear it for like 3 seasons, so they don't make a new shirt every season, which is cool for the fans, you know.
See, that's the annoying thing for me. I always preface this when I say when we start just talking about like MLS and stuff like that, the match is pretty flat at the moment. Like a lot of battering it around in the midfield. Toronto releases a new shirt pretty much every season. I think we're reusing our shirt from last season right now, but it's always the same shirt. It's just plain red with Bank of Montreal on the front, and that's
Gillingham are coming on to us a bit. Obviously, Markley's ahead. I don't know if they took the corner yet, but they are going for us.
Thoughts on Mendy? I haven't seen much of him in the midfield this half.
I mean, they keep giving him the ball and he's making the turns and moving it forward, but I mean, it's nothing spectacular in my opinion.
I was gonna say just to receive maximum banter from all of you in the chat. I will also admit I own Coventry, Derby, and Forest shirts as well. Wow. I have all of them in my collection. Well, good chance here for Vardy. Can't get a shot chance though.
Yeah, just a bad touch, the second touch.
And I'll always welcome opposition fans in the chat as well. We got a Gillingham fan. Feel free to give us some insight as well. You know, I know we're a little late in the match, but like, who should we keep an eye out for? Who are you hoping to see well from in this match? Like, who should we be worried about? Who are your stars on this match?
Like I say, their attacker Madrion should be. Well, maybe you'll see an appearance from him in the later stages.
Yeah, he is on the bench for them.
It looks like they're replacing their left back.
Mendy getting stuck in.
This player they're showing on screen now, Kashket, he's looked like one who's done pretty well. Like he's been very scrappy in midfield for Gillingham. I'm seeing in the lineup that he's their forward, but like he's been pretty scrappy.
Harriet's coming on now.
Ooh, I might need a little ice cube in that one. I think this whole time I could have paused it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, a lot of tussling in the midfield at the moment.
Reedy, what's your timestamp at?
What in the game?
Yeah.
79-16.
Huh.
What, are you 80 yet?
Tell me when you get to 79-35.
Okay.
I feel you, Boho. I don't have anything red. Oh, I do have the red Leicester shirt with the collar.
Right, I'm at it now.
Perfect.
I will see for me, like even outside of just like football shirt collecting to begin with, Toronto FC wears red.
Oh yeah, and it's the color of Canada, really.
Yeah. Well, it's very funny for Toronto in that regard because the normal thing is like our biggest rivals in pretty much every sport is always Montreal.
Yes.
Toronto teams always wear blue. Montreal teams always wear red, except in the MLS where Montreal wears blue and Toronto wears red. And I don't know why they did that.
Oh, Montreal does have blue kids. That's funny.
I think we're on the same timing now, aren't we?
Yes.
There's Adelkin with a throw in at the moment.
Dakar and Ndidi's coming on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks like
Dak is coming in. What? See, this is where I don't agree with Brendan. Like Daka, the way he pulled up in the last game.
Yeah, but apparently it was only a caution thing.
And I was gonna say like 10 minutes is a good chance to give him just like a bit of running opportunity.
Vardy's smiling for some reason.
Do you guys know that song by the Red Stripes called Jamie Vardy? And it goes, Jamie Vardy, yeah, Jamie. It's a ska punk. I'm gonna load it into my pod track thing here, and I'm gonna play the hook and the next match that I do a watch along, and I want to see if we can get that going as a chant for Jamie Vardy. It's so cool. It's such a cool song, and they're a punk ska band from Hong Kong, and they made a song about Jamie Vardy. Well, it's about like
love that.
how they're cool and they're out with the boys and Jamie Vardy standing on line as if we're number 9. It's really cool. It's a really cool song. Yeah.
Nice. I was gonna say like just double check the rights on the song first because I don't want us to get DMCA'd.
I wanted to DM them on Twitter, but I can't find them. They're like super.
Perez into Iheanacho. Was that Daka? That is Daka. Sorry.
Daka's in now.
What I was about to say that even though we've got this pretty new back line for this game, if we get a clean sheet here, are we taking it to positives or are we just saying it's Gillingham? We should be not conceding this game. I don't know.
Little from column A, little from column B for me. Like you got to do the easy stuff well, and if we do that, we can take it as a positive. But if anything, I think it's more just avoiding negatives than something to celebrate.
But the back line going forward is not going to have Lewis Brunt in it.
No.
In the Premier
I was going to say none of these back line players are going to be starting against Newcastle. Are going to be starting.
No, but that's what I'm saying though, because obviously they're not played together and whatnot. To keep a clean sheet with not even playing games, surely is a good sign to see that.
Nacho on the break. Daka's got to run. He slowed up a little bit at the top of the box.
It was a beautifully weighted ball across the face of goal. Chance for Daka to just slide in and put that in the net, and he's just too late to it. Iverson's done decently. He's made a couple of good saves. I don't think he's been challenged too heavily, but like we were saying before, like he's done the easy things right.
Yeah, he hasn't had to do too much at all today.
Wow, there really isn't many Leicester fans in beyond that goal, is there?
I think that's all
Yeah.
that was allocated.
Yeah, I'm not
Like,
saying that. Yeah,
it's so densely packed in such a tight square. Like that looks
Luke
like
Thomas.
some of that stand may have been purposefully left empty. Ooh,
Yeah,
Gillingham players on the deck.
Do we see Albrighton make a replacement here?
That would make the most sense for me because he's also just not a natural defender.
It doesn't look like Albrighton's coming off. He looks
Number
like
4.
Defensive position.
Who's number 4 for us?
Number 4.
Vestergaard.
No, Vestergaard's 34.
McAteer.
Oh, McAteer.
Oh, so it was 43. That's why.
Because
I was gonna say I don't think we don't have a number 4, do we?
unless it's like Bertrand or something.
Oh, no, Bertrand's 2, isn't he? Or is Pereira 2?
Justin wears 2.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think Pereira wears 4.
No, Pereira wears like 21, don't he?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
We don't know any of the numbers.
How am I getting so many numbers wrong?
We don't know any of the numbers.
I'm just making myself look a fool.
Right, I'm having a look now. I'm having a look to see if we've got number 4.
Luke Thomas is
Soyuncu.
on.
Soyuncu number 4?
Yeah. He was supposed to come out, and he said, "No, I'm not coming out."
Is he number 4? Yeah.
Yeah. Just because we haven't seen him in such a long time.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
The ball on either side of the field. This time he's picking up the ball on this
Thomas
side
into
of the
Iheanacho, into Daka, back into Thomas, into Yori, into Brunt. Brunt's going high up.
He's had the ball a lot too this match.
Not a bad cross there either. It's just met by a lot of Gillingham bodies in there.
Soyuncu's been playing really rough today. He's left a lot on these Gillingham players, a lot. They've been complaining all match to the referee about Soyuncu.
Is that Madron on the pitch now?
That's him right there, right?
There you go.
Reedy, have you been to any like good away days in any small stadiums?
Like I say, I was meant to go to this one, but I didn't decide to go to it. Obviously, I had a ticket and whatnot, but small ones, I've been to obviously Newport. Obviously, that was one that we don't want to talk about. Trying to think of any really small ones. Like, I went to Fleetwood when we played them a few years back in the cup. Vardy went back to his old club. That was nice. That was a good one. I've not been to any very small ones. Like, I've been to the lower league ones, but nothing like tiny. Like the MK Dons one, I thought you would have thought that would been quite small, but because obviously all their history and whatnot, what happened and not, they obviously built a new stadium for reasons, and they couldn't even fill that now. So.
Oh yeah, but I was gonna say like Fleetwood and Newport would be comparable stadiums to Priestfield here.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I went to it's a very North American thing for me to call this a small stadium, but I went to see QPR play when I was in London.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been to QPR a while back. Yeah.
And that was rocking. That was one of my favorite stadium experiences.
It's because it's like a square
worldwide.
stadium. It's like there's barely any like holes in the ground. Like it's all compact and whatnot. So.
Yeah, and it was all covered, and they had the corrugated metal around the outside as well. So fans were just pounding the outside of this stadium all through the match, and it was rocking.
Yeah.
They got battered too. I think it was a 4-1 loss to Sheffield United was what I watched.
Whew. Everybody is playing hard. Yuri totally going for a header, takes out the Gillingham player, McKenzie.
Yeah, he hits
the referee
the deck
finally
hard.
blows the whistle.
We are only 3 minutes plus added time into this game, and hopefully we can. And why has that only just come up the screen? Why has it just told us that Madron's on the pitch when we've seen him for about 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think they missed him as well.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
But yeah, we're only about 2.5 minutes plus added time away from winning this game, so hopefully we can clinch this win and move into the next round.
See, all these stadiums are small because when I go to watch the soccer games, it's at the same stadium that the Seahawks play, and it's
I was about to say like I'm going to use the wrong name for it. Yeah, it's like 70,000 seats, isn't it?
70,000 seats. I mean, we don't sell that many for soccer games. They shut off the upper bowl, so that's like 30,000 seats right there. So, but I mean, the Sounders, we put 25,000, 30,000 in the seats on a Wednesday.
Have you done any MLS away days?
No. See, that's the thing about United
You're
States.
so far.
You got to fly to go to away days here.
Well,
Yeah.
how far is Portland?
Portland's a 2-hour drive. I could go to Portland. I have just never been to
Oh no! Oh
Portland.
no!
Oh God. Gillingham comes
Cigar.
charging in. The player gets knocked off the ball, and we clear. I think he might be
Big
able to
man
feel hard
Vestergaard.
done by that there was no foul there, but it was a pretty good challenge there. Yeah, Siunshu wins the ball very solidly there.
Whew. They try to nutmeg him so Andrew close his legs. They be doing that in training. The nutmeg challenge.
Tom
Yeah.
in the Leicester fan chat says this has been painful to watch. I stick the same team in against Newcastle and save the boys for Forest now. I wouldn't say the exact same team. I think that's probably
I want to win the cups, man.
bigger. I think
Yeah,
the Newcastle game's a bigger fixture for us because obviously it's getting a lot closer to the final. And if we can get past them, then we've got a big chance in getting to the final there. So
I really want us to have a go at the FA Cup. I wouldn't be upset if we put out a first team squad.
Do it.
do you mean the Carabao Cup?
Yes, sorry.
League Cup.
Yes.
Because this is the FA Cup we're watching now. This has still got a long way to go. This has.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I just got my tournament titles
Yeah.
mixed up there. It's early
this-
morning.
Nick Moore saying this has been poor, and the touches have not been there. No one's touch has been good.
We can't lie. Yeah, it's not been the greatest. We're playing against the bottom team in the League Two. It's worst side we could face in the EFL teams. But you just got, like I say, we look like we're winning this game, and hopefully we'll just move on from it because
5
Yeah,
minutes at a time.
The players will have lessons to learn from this, but I'd always rather they have lessons to learn and we get a win than lessons to learn from a loss.
Right.
we just can't concede now because it wouldn't be great.
Oh yeah. But yeah, jumping back to earlier, like the nearest away day for me is a 6.5 hour drive or train. And then the next nearest away day would be New York, which is 11.5 hours by bus or a 2-hour flight.
Wow. When was the last time you've been to New York?
I went for the Canadian Thanksgiving in 2020.
Not too
Or
long.
2019. It was just before pandemic lockdown stopped travel.
Right.
And I took a bus there, and I'm never doing that again. Oh,
You're
Gillingham on the
offside.
break here.
You're offside, mate. You're
Oh,
offside.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Put the
At
ball
least
in
they got-
the net anyway.
Yeah, at least put the ball in the net. There you go.
But Nick, I don't think we're going to be playing. I think at 2 or 3 players from this squad start against Newcastle at most.
I hope to see Vardy and Iheanacho in the game again against Newcastle, but I think you'll see Barnes. I don't think you'll see any of them too. I think you'll see.
I think we'll
Daka.
see. I think we'll see Iheanacho and Vardy as substitutes, and I think Tielemans starts. And
I think Daka will start against Newcastle.
agreed.
Do you think Brunt will get in the game?
No, I don't.
I think we're probably going to play the starting back line. I think we're going to have Fass, Amarte, Castagna, Thomas.
maybe there's a chance you'll see Siunshu in there. I'm not sure though. I feel
don't
like there's a
think so.
slim chance. I think there's a slim chance, but hopefully.
I think he's just being this filler here, and he's gone in January.
Mhm.
You think he's gone to Atletico?
I believe the rumors on that one.
See, the thing is with Atletico, obviously I know a bit about the Atletico backline and whatnot. And it's like I don't see him getting in front of the Jimenez or.
Diego Godin.
Oh no, he's not there anymore. He's
No.
not there anymore. No, but like say you've got Jimenez, you've got Hermoso, I think you've got a few others, and I just don't see his quality getting in there. In front of them two, anyway.
But you know what? It's not like he's getting in at Leicester anyway. So if he's going to take a bench role, I'm sure he'd rather do it at a Champions League club.
Can we get a second goal here? Or Brian down the wing.
Albright cheering. Oh,
He's looking for that cross. You know he is. You know he
Yeah.
is. He's going for that cross all he can.
And a bit Harvey,
Ooh.
like I was going to say, like I criticize Harvey for it, so I'll criticize him for it. He takes too many touches while looking for what he really wants to play from that ball and gets tackled.
He's played the full 90. He's on his butt right now, and he's absolutely gassed. He's trying to take the ball to the corner flag, and the Gillingham player just comes and absolutely takes him out.
He does all that just for a corner to get him into us. Brilliant.
And it's a foul. That should have been a free
I was going to say that should have been but realistically, a free kick from there is just a corner.
We're taking
anyways.
the piss here. We are taking the piss here now.
Nacho, he does it the best. Oh, but then he loses it.
1 minute 20 left. Gonna check the other scores around the FA Cup.
Can I?
Oh, it's so early. Oof.
Other score updates. So Preston have beaten Huddersfield. Tottenham have beaten Portsmouth. Reading beating against Watford and Gillingham losing to Leicester. Southampton have beaten Palace.
I think it's safe to say that we've won here.
We have won.
There we go.
There we go. Full time.
Go on, boys. Got the win. Even though it wasn't the best performance, we'll take it.
Yeah, not the prettiest result, but a result nonetheless.
Yeah, we'll absolutely take it. After 3 losses in a row, we'll get it. We'll take anyone we can get. I think this will inject some confidence in the boys. We still got to get healthy though. And you can see when we don't have Madison how we struggle to create.
Let's just say I'm glad I'm not there to witness that one goal in 3.5 hour bus journey away. I'm glad I didn't go.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm glad I didn't go.
But again, like we got the result. Hopefully this will then translate into some positivity for the boys.
Exactly.
Bring some levity to the dressing room before Newcastle.
Ian Nacho gets a goal.
Job done. On we go.
Absolutely.
Do you have any team in mind that you'd like to draw in the next round?
I wouldn't be able to tell you in the FA Cup. There's too many teams still left in there for me.
That's fair.
Here, let's just play this real fast. Yeah.
Love it. I would have sung along, but 1, you don't need to hear that from me in the morning, and 2, I know that we would be off sync.
We would all be off sync. Yeah, just play it. Just let it play. Let people sing in their homes.
All right. Reedy, your sound's off.
Sorry, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I couldn't tell you who I'd want in the FA Cup next round. There's just too many teams in there. But like I say, I think now you've got to go into the Newcastle game with a bit more ambition. Hopefully you can get past them, and then you've only got 3 teams to face, really. So you've just got to try and get past Newcastle now.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 match at a time. Next matchup, recover, train, get your mind right, and let's come out and play Newcastle. They just battered us. We know what they can do. We know how they play. And we got to be aggressive. We got to have good touches on the ball, man. We got to have the quality, the confidence. We just have not been playing good. It's not about the tactics when you just suck.
We've got to go in like we did against Forest in the league, where it's, they battered us, and now we need to go in with a chip on our shoulder and prove ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, it was so good to do this early morning watch along for this cup match with you guys.
Now you can go back to sleep.
I am getting exactly in my bed. And up the Foxes. Good win.
Cheers, Michael.
Can't wait.
Cheers.
All right, and then Reedy, I'm gonna let you go as well, and then we'll do our quick wrap up and play the credits. But thank you very much for not only hosting but making me able to actually see the match.
I don't know what you're on about.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
I don't know what about. Right, see you in a bit.
Cheers, Reedy. All right, and thank you all for joining us as well. We got the chance to finally see a win again, and hopefully we're going to translate that into some momentum in the next match. But for now, thank you all for joining us. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe, like the video. We've got plenty of content that comes out all through the week. and lots of stuff that's going to be coming for future watch-alongs as well. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pucka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newbie & Co. Estate Agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.